There comes a moment in every person's life when everything stands still. It's the moment between what was and what could be. It's the silent pause before a choice that can redefine your entire destiny. We often think transformation takes years, that we need to plan, prepare, and perfect every detail. But the truth is, life changes the instant you decide. One decision to believe in yourself when no one else does. One decision to walk away from what no longer serves your growth. One decision to rise, even when your circumstances try to pull you down. That's all it takes to rewrite your story. You see, every great achiever, every visionary, every leader, they didn't start with confidence. They started with a decision to take one step toward a future they could barely see. That one choice sets off a chain reaction inside you. It awakens a new frequency of thought. And when your mind shifts, your emotions shift. When your emotions shift, your actions change. And when your actions change, your reality begins to align with your new identity. The world doesn't respond to hesitation. It responds to clarity, and clarity is born in decision. So ask yourself today, what is the one decision you've been avoiding? What's the one change that could elevate every area of your life if you simply said, yes, now is the time? Because your brain is a record of your past, but your decision is the blueprint of your future. Every time you decide from your highest self rather than your fears, you signal to life itself, I am ready to evolve. When you make a decision that stretches you, the kind that scares you a little, but excites you a lot, you unlock a power that's been waiting within you all along. You activate purpose. You attract opportunity. You raise your frequency to match the life you've imagined. So today, choose to decide boldly, not from your past, but from your potential, not from your fear, but from your faith, because one decision, one courageous yes, can alter your direction forever. And when you look back one day, you'll realize it wasn't luck, it wasn't timing, it was that one bold decision that became the turning point of your entire life. Would you like me to make this speech sound more like a stage delivery with pauses, emotional emphasis, and rhythm cues for a speaker? Or keep it in this educational plus written tone for reading or video narration? Every moment of your life, you are standing at a crossroads between the life you are living and the life you are capable of living. The bridge between the two is not time, money, or opportunity. It's decision. Decision defines destiny. It's the invisible force that shapes who you become, determines what you experience, and directs the entire course of your life. Most people wait for external change before they decide to move. They wait for better timing, more resources, or the right moment to appear. But the truth is, the right moment is created in the instant you decide. The power of decision is not in what you say. It's in the energy you bring to it. It's in that moment when your heart says, enough, I will no longer live this way, and your mind begins to align with a new path forward. Decision is more than choice. It is commitment backed by emotion. The brain records patterns from the past and often tries to keep you safe by replaying familiar behaviors. That's why indecision feels like being stuck in a loop. Your body wants change, but your mind fears the unknown. Yet the moment you make a real decision, one that comes from deep conviction rather than convenience, you interrupt that loop. You tell your nervous system, this is my new direction. You override fear with clarity. Suddenly, what once felt impossible becomes inevitable because you've shifted the power from circumstance to consciousness. Think about the greatest turning points in your life. They were not slow transitions. They were sharp moments of awareness followed by a choice. Maybe it was the decision to pursue a dream, end a toxic habit, move to a new place, or believe in yourself for the first time. Each of those choices carried energy, intention, and consequence. They were the gateways to new identities. A true decision doesn't just change your environment, it changes who you are within it. You move from hoping things will get better to declaring that they will, and that declaration sends a signal through every cell of your body. Every decision is an act of creation. When you decide, you give birth to a new reality that didn't exist before. You begin to attract the ideas, people, and opportunities that match your new vibration. This isn't magic, it's alignment. Your focus directs your energy, and energy expands what it touches. So when you decide with full belief, the universe responds with movement. That's why people who live with purpose seem to attract synchronicities. They have already decided who they are and what they stand for long before evidence appears. The opposite is also true. Indecision drains your energy, divides your focus, and breeds anxiety. When you hesitate, you send a mixed signal to life itself. Part of you wants growth, another part fears loss. Life can't move toward uncertainty, it waits for your commitment. Once you decide, you create momentum. That momentum generates confidence, and confidence reinforces the belief that you are in control of your path. It becomes a cycle of empowerment instead of hesitation. Decision defines destiny because every future outcome begins as a single thought transformed into action. It's not the size of the decision that matters, it's the depth of your commitment behind it. A small choice made with full conviction can transform decades of limitation. The key is not to wait for clarity before deciding. Clarity is born from decision. The act of choosing brings new information, new perspectives, and new courage. The moment you decide fully, everything that has been holding you back begins to lose its grip, because you are no longer the same person who hesitated yesterday. Your destiny is not written in your past, it's written in the decisions you make today. Every time you choose faith over fear, purpose over comfort, and growth over stagnation, you step closer to the life you were meant to live. One decision can open a new chapter, redefine your story, and awaken the power within you that was waiting all along. Everything begins in the mind before it ever becomes visible in the world. Every action, every achievement, every transformation starts as a thought, an idea, a vision that you choose to nurture. Mind before movement means that change happens from the inside out. You can't create a new life while holding onto the same mental patterns that built your current one. The quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your experiences because your outer world is a mirror of your inner state. When your mind is focused on what's missing, you attract lack. When your mind is focused on gratitude, possibilities, and purpose, you begin to attract abundance, opportunity, and growth. The mind is the command center of your life, and it controls the signals that shape your emotions, your energy, and your behavior. Your brain doesn't differentiate between what is real and what is vividly imagined. When you repeatedly think a thought, you train your brain to expect it as reality. This is why mental focus is so powerful. The moment you visualize success, your brain begins to wire itself for it. The more you feel that reality as if it's already happening, the faster your body aligns with it. Movement is easy once the mind believes. Without that mental foundation, effort feels heavy, progress feels inconsistent, and motivation fades quickly. But when the mind leads, the body follows naturally, with energy and conviction. Most people try to change their lives by changing their actions, not realizing that the root of all action lies in the mind. They focus on forcing new habits without addressing the old beliefs that sabotage them. They want transformation without inner alignment, but true change begins the moment you shift your mental story from I can't to I can, from I'm stuck to I'm learning, from someday to now. The words you repeat in your mind become the script your life performs. If you want a new outcome, you must first think a new thought. The mind is not a passive observer, it is a powerful creator. Every belief you hold acts as a filter through which you interpret reality. Two people can face the same situation. One sees defeat, the other sees opportunity. The difference is not in circumstance but in perception. When you train your mind to focus on growth, you begin to see possibilities where others see obstacles. You start to act from vision rather than reaction. The shift is subtle but life-changing. You no longer chase change, you embody it. To master the mind, you must learn awareness. Notice what thoughts dominate your day. Are they empowering or draining? Are they rooted in fear or in faith? Most of our daily thoughts are repetitive, running unconsciously like background music. Yet, when you consciously interrupt a negative pattern and replace it with an intentional one, you reshape the neural pathways in your brain. This is how transformation happens, not overnight, but through consistent mental direction. Your mind learns to associate new thoughts with new emotions, creating a state of coherence where what you think, feel, and do are finally aligned. Energy follows thought. When your mind is scattered, your energy is scattered. When your mind is focused, your energy intensifies. This is why clarity is power. A focused mind can create in moments what a distracted mind struggles to build in years. Movement without mental clarity is wasted motion, but when your thoughts are precise and purposeful, even small actions carry exponential impact. The moment you align your thoughts with your goals, you begin to magnetize the people, ideas, and opportunities that resonate with that frequency. It's not about forcing outcomes. It's about becoming the kind of person whose mindset naturally attracts them. When your inner world is strong, the outer world adjusts accordingly. Mind before movement is the universal law of creation. First you imagine, then you become, and finally you experience. Everything you desire already exists as potential. It's waiting for you to match its vibration through thought, focus, and unwavering belief. So when you seek change, don't begin with doing, begin with thinking. Don't chase movement, cultivate mental mastery, because the mind that leads with intention can move mountains effortlessly. Once your thoughts are aligned with who you truly want to become, every step forward will feel natural, powerful, and inevitable. Courage over comfort is the essence of growth. Every breakthrough in life demands that you step beyond the familiar and confront the discomfort that comes with expansion. The human brain is wired to seek safety and predictability. It wants to keep you where things are known, where there's little risk of failure or rejection, but that same comfort zone that feels safe is also where dreams quietly die. Growth cannot exist where everything stays easy. To evolve, you must be willing to enter the space where uncertainty lives, because that is where transformation begins. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the decision to act despite it. Every person who has achieved greatness has felt fear, doubt, and resistance. The difference is that they chose courage over comfort. They understood that fear is not a stop sign, it's a signal that you are about to grow. When you lean into the edge of discomfort, you teach your mind that you are capable of more than it thought possible. The body might tremble, the voice might shake, but in that moment of choosing courage, you reclaim your power from fear. You begin to realize that most of the limits you believed in were illusions built by comfort. Comfort keeps you repeating old patterns because it tells you that survival is enough. But courage whispers that you were meant for more than survival. You were designed for creation, expansion, and purpose. Comfort says, stay where you are, it's safe. Courage says, move forward, it's worth it. One leads to stagnation, the other to evolution. Every great leap in your life, whether personal, emotional, or professional, began with a moment when you chose to act even when you didn't feel ready. You stepped out not because everything was certain, but because your vision was stronger than your fear. When you choose courage, you change your identity. You stop identifying as the person who waits and begin identifying as the person who moves. Courage is not a single act, it's a habit, a muscle that strengthens each time you use it. Every time you speak your truth, take a risk, or follow your intuition against doubt, you expand your capacity for more. Over time, what once felt terrifying becomes natural, and your comfort zone expands to match your new level of growth. That's how evolution works, by constantly trading old safety for new strength. Discomfort is the classroom of transformation. It's where your mind learns flexibility, your emotions learn resilience, and your soul learns trust. When life pushes you into discomfort, it's not punishment, it's preparation. The universe is stretching you so you can hold the blessings you've been asking for. Too often, people pray for growth but reject the process that brings it. They want courage but avoid challenge. They want confidence but avoid the moments that build it. Real confidence is born from walking through fear, not avoiding it. Every time you face discomfort and keep going, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than the emotions trying to stop you. Courage also creates momentum. Once you take one brave step, energy begins to move, the universe responds to decisive action, opportunities appear, people support you, and paths you couldn't see before begin to open. But none of that happens until you decide to act from courage instead of comfort. Action is the bridge between intention and reality, and courage is the fuel that powers it. You cannot think your way into a new life. You must act your way into one, and that action will always demand courage. At the end of your life, you won't remember the moments that were comfortable. You'll remember the moments you were terrified but moved anyway, because those are the moments that defined you. They are the moments that expanded your consciousness and built the character you now admire in yourself. The truth is, courage is not something you find, it's something you choose. Every day offers you a chance to choose between staying the same or stepping into the unknown. The more you choose courage, the more alive you become. Growth, purpose, and transformation all live on the other side of comfort. The energy of commitment is one of the most powerful forces in the universe. It is the moment when you stop entertaining alternatives and decide that there is no turning back. When your heart, mind, and actions align with a single intention, you activate an energy field that draws life toward you in ways logic can't explain. Commitment is not just saying, "I'll try." It is declaring, "I must." The moment you shift from trying to doing, from wishing to deciding, your vibration changes. The world begins to respond differently because you are no longer half in and half out. You are fully immersed in your purpose. Most people never experience the full power of their potential because they move through life with divided energy. They say they want change but still cling to what's comfortable. They make promises to themselves but break them the moment challenges appear. But when you commit, truly commit, you remove the option of retreat. The energy that was once scattered by doubt and hesitation becomes concentrated into pure focus. That focused energy becomes momentum, and momentum creates results that once seemed impossible. The universe does not respond to indecision. It mirrors the strength of your commitment. Commitment carries its own frequency. It tells life, "I am ready." It sends a signal to every cell in your body that you are no longer operating from uncertainty. You are operating from certainty. When your energy is aligned with your purpose, you begin to feel unstoppable, not because everything becomes easy, but because you are no longer negotiating with fear. Challenges still come, but your energy no longer collapses under them. You move through them with determination because your commitment has already decided the outcome. You have removed the question of if and replaced it with how. This energy of full-hearted commitment changes the chemistry of your body and the direction of your thoughts. You think clearer, act faster, and attract differently. People who are committed have a presence that can be felt. They carry conviction in their voice and clarity in their eyes. Others sense it and are drawn to it because true commitment is magnetic. It inspires confidence, both within you and in those who witness it. You don't need to chase opportunities when you're deeply committed. You attract them naturally because your energy is coherent and your intention is unwavering. Commitment also transforms fear into fuel. When you are partially committed, fear feels like a wall. But when you are fully committed, fear becomes a signal that you're on the right path. It sharpens your focus and deepens your drive. There's a certain calm that comes with total commitment because you no longer waste energy deciding whether to continue. You've already decided. That inner peace gives you power. You become resilient not by avoiding failure, but by refusing to let it define you. The energy of commitment doesn't depend on external motivation. It is sustained by inner purpose. When you commit from your core, you tap into a deeper intelligence, the part of you that knows who you are and why you're here. That energy moves you even on the days when doubt whispers. It reminds you of your vision when the journey feels uncertain. True commitment doesn't fade when circumstances shift. It strengthens because it's built on intention, not condition. Life always rewards the committed. Doors open that once seemed locked. People appear who want to help. Resources align and time stretches to support your mission. What once looked like coincidence reveals itself as alignment. The moment you match your energy to your vision with full conviction, the path begins to form beneath your feet. In the end, commitment is not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's the energy that says, no matter how long it takes, no matter how hard it gets, I am all in. That kind of energy is unshakable. It bends reality, shapes destiny, and transforms ordinary lives into extraordinary legacies. The universe does not give power to those who merely wish. It gives power to those who commit with their whole being. Because when you do, life itself commits to you in return. Identity shift is the deepest transformation a person can experience because it changes not just what you do, but who you believe yourself to be. Every action, every decision, and every result in your life is a reflection of your self-image, the story you hold about who you are and what you are capable of. When you make a bold decision, you don't just alter your circumstances. You begin the process of rewiring your identity. You move from the version of yourself that reacts to life to the version that creates it. That single decision can open a doorway between who you were and who you are becoming. Most people try to change their lives through effort alone. They focus on behavior, habits, or goals, believing that if they work hard enough, everything will shift. But lasting change never comes from behavior. It comes from identity. You can force yourself to act differently for a while, but if your internal identity doesn't align with that new behavior, you'll eventually return to your old patterns. The person who believes I'm not good enough can achieve success temporarily, but they'll unconsciously sabotage it because it doesn't fit the story they believe about themselves. True change happens the moment you decide to rewrite that story. An identity shift begins when you realize that who you think you are is not fixed, it's chosen. Every belief, every limitation, every label you've accepted is simply a mental construct built through repetition. You can question it, challenge it, and replace it with something new. The moment you decide to adopt a new identity, one rooted in your highest potential, you begin to behave differently. The brain starts creating new neural pathways to support this version of you. Your emotions shift, your habits evolve, and your perception of the world transforms. What once seemed impossible begins to feel natural, because your identity now aligns with your vision. The key to identity transformation is awareness. You must first observe the old patterns that keep you stuck, the automatic thoughts, the self-talk, the roles you've been playing out of habit. Once you see them, you have the power to change them. Awareness creates separation between who you've been and who you are choosing to become. Every time you choose differently, you send a new message to your subconscious mind. This is who I am now. Over time, repetition and emotional intensity anchor this new identity so deeply that it becomes your new normal. This process requires courage because identity change often means letting go of old versions of yourself that once kept you safe. You may have to release people, environments, or routines that reinforce your old self. The mind will resist because it craves familiarity, but if you want transformation, you must choose evolution over comfort. The discomfort you feel is simply the tension between your old identity dying and your new one being born. The beautiful thing about identity is that it's fluid. You are not bound by your past, your mistakes, or your current circumstances. Every morning gives you the chance to decide who you will be today. You can wake up and say, I am disciplined, I am confident, I am worthy. Even before you see evidence of it, the brain doesn't wait for proof. It believes what you tell it with consistency and emotion. Eventually, your reality catches up with your belief. This is how all transformation happens, from the inside out. When you shift your identity, you stop chasing change and start embodying it. Instead of trying to achieve success, you become the kind of person who naturally attracts it. Instead of struggling for confidence, you become the person who walks with certainty. Every outcome you desire already exists within a version of you waiting to be claimed. That version becomes accessible the moment you decide to identify with it. So when you make that one bold decision, understand that you're not just choosing a new direction. You're choosing a new identity. You are declaring, I am no longer the person who waits, doubts, or fears. I am the person who acts, believes, and creates. Once that declaration is made with conviction, life begins to reorganize itself around your new sense of self. You stop living from memory and start living from vision, and that is the true power of one decision. It doesn't just change your path, it changes who you are walking it. The ripple effect of one decision is far greater than most people ever realize. Every choice you make sends waves of energy into the world, waves that influence not only your own future, but also the lives of those around you. One courageous decision can inspire hundreds of silent hearts to awaken, to act, to believe that change is possible for them too. Every time you choose growth over fear, discipline over doubt, or love over limitation, you shift the energy field that connects us all. The ripple begins inside you, but its impact travels far beyond your awareness. When you make a powerful decision, you change your vibration. You begin to think, feel, and act differently, and those changes radiate outward like circles expanding across still water. Your words carry new confidence, your presence feels stronger, your energy becomes magnetic. People around you begin to notice, not always because you say something, but because they feel something. The human mind is deeply responsive to energy. It mirrors what it senses. When you elevate your own state, you unconsciously give others permission to elevate theirs. That is how one decision becomes a movement, how one life becomes a message. Think about the people who once inspired you. Maybe it was someone who overcame impossible odds, who left a life of comfort to chase their purpose, or who turned pain into purpose. Their decision affected you because energy is contagious. What they chose for themselves awakened something within you. Now imagine that same power living inside your own choices. Every decision you make becomes a message to the world about what is possible. You may not realize it, but someone is always watching, learning, and being shaped by your example. The ripple effect also works inward. The moment you make a conscious decision aligned with your highest truth, you affect every part of your inner world. Your mind begins to release limiting beliefs, your emotions start to stabilize, and your body feels lighter, more energized. You no longer carry the heavy vibration of indecision. This internal alignment radiates outward into your relationships, your work, your health, and your environment. You begin to attract situations and people that resonate with your new frequency, and in turn, they are uplifted by your energy. The ripple of your decision becomes the current that moves entire aspects of your life forward. Even the smallest act of decision, choosing kindness when it's easier to be silent, choosing discipline when laziness tempts you, choosing forgiveness when anger feels justified, creates a vibration that shifts collective energy. Every choice adds a new tone to the harmony of the world. When millions of people make small, aligned decisions each day, humanity itself evolves. We rise together not through massive revolutions, but through countless moments of individual courage and integrity. What's profound about the ripple effect is that you rarely see its full reach. You may never know who was influenced by your words, who gained hope from your persistence, or who found faith because you refused to quit. But unseen doesn't mean insignificant. The most powerful ripples are often the quietest, the ones that travel far beyond the horizon of your awareness. Your decision to live consciously might inspire a stranger years later, long after you've forgotten the moment it began. And this ripple continues across generations. A single decision to break a cycle of fear, limitation, or neglect can rewrite an entire family's story. A parent's choice to believe in growth teaches a child what's possible. A teacher's decision to encourage one struggling student can change a life that goes on to impact thousands. Energy never disappears, it only transfers and transforms. Every decision you make today plants a seed in the field of tomorrow. The power of one decision is not limited to personal transformation. It's a contribution to collective evolution. Each time you decide to rise, you make it easier for others to rise. Each time you choose awareness over reaction, you lift the consciousness of everyone connected to you. The ripple effect reminds us that no act of courage is ever wasted. One decision can ignite a wave of change that reaches further than you can imagine, touching hearts you will never meet, and shaping futures you will never see. That is how one bold choice truly changes the world, one ripple at a time.